Hey guys, packing up here in Salt Lake City, so pardon me, I'm gonna just put my phone in my case. There will be no visual, just pay attention to the audio. My phone's gonna go in my belt pouch on my, well, obviously on my belt. So yeah, I'm putting my phone in my waist, just audio only this video. All right, so I am wrapping up, grabbing what I have to grab, throwing what I have to throw into storage. Today is essentially the last day I have to do anything, because what's going to happen here is I got a job with Securitas just so I could get out my ass, get out of my apartment and continue to work. As when the GSOC position knocked me on my ass, I ended up, I was home for a couple of weeks where I wasn't eating or anything, which obviously was not a good space for me to be in. So I ended up breaking one of my personal rules, something I told myself I would never do. And I got a job with the National again. Sorry. So yes, I got a job with Securitas just so I could continue working and all that. So my last day working for Securitas here in Salt Lake City, Utah is going to be tomorrow, Sunday, 1:30 to 9:30 Mountain Time. And then after that, I'm going home and sleeping. And then my intent is to end up, and then the intent is to get up at like 3, 4 a.m. in the morning, Utah time, and just skedaddle out of Utah, more or less in the dead of night. So what I wanted to discuss in this video was more or less the job market in Utah. My blunt, 100% and honest view on security in Utah. And simply put, yeah. If you want my brutal honesty, security in Utah sucks major monkey. I won't finish the saying, but you can fill in the blank with your favorite expletive there. Security in Utah sucks major monkey. Why do I say that? Well, first of all, there used to be an organization called PASCO. P-A-C-S-C-O, if I remember correctly. Okay, you get your unarmed license through this online course through this organization called DECEN or DEFEN. It's either D-E-F or D-E-C. Defensify or Defensify. I don't fucking remember. Whatever. Anyway, so you get you go through this online unarmed course through them. And it used to be, if you wanted to carry a weapon and be credentialed as an unarmed officer in the state of Utah, you were able to self-sponsor yourself to get your gun license through PASCO. Well, the owner of PASCO passed away. The owner of that Utah program passed away December of 2022. What I didn't know was, when I went through my Utah weapons course, and, I drove up here from Las Vegas and all, I spent a couple of days here in Utah for that gun course. What I didn't realize was the course that I took was a PASCO course, and it was the second to last self-sponsor course that would ever happen in the state of Utah, because January of 2023, last year, January, that program is deactivated. You can no longer self-sponsor yourself in the state of Utah anymore. So then you may ask, well, pray tell, how do I get my gun license? Well, viewer, I'm glad you asked. And the answer in of itself is a shit show, and it's very convoluted for me to explain. There are quote-unquote approved security companies on the Utah DOPL list DOPL, the Division or Department of Occupational and Professional Licensing, DOPL, DOPL, is more or less your California BSIS or your Nevada PIOB. DOPL is the Utah Board for Private Security. Now, DOPL is an organization within the Utah government, within the state of Utah. DOPL does things for contractors, for nursing. They more or less handle all of the licensing for the entire state. So they don't do just private security. But they have called a subunit, they have a team within DOPL for private security. So our security board, in essence, our security board is DOPL. But DOPL is far more than security. They do nursing, they do general contract work, your handymans that have to have contractor license, etc. That's all DOPL. But obviously this video is for private security, so for the purposes of this video, DOPL is our security board. You go on the Utah DOPL security website. There are very few companies you will see that are approved to give weapons instruction to credential and unarmed officers and armed officers, so you can start carrying a firearm on duty throughout the course of your employment, so you can start doing armed gigs. But at the same time, here in the state of Utah, we also have continuing education hour requirements for unarmed and armed. And you can already guess armed is more than unarmed because you have to do the unarmed stuff and the specific armed instruction, the armed continuing education hours. Oh, and by the way, you go on the Utah DOPL website, there's only like 6, maybe 8 companies, I'll call it a dozen at most, pulling out a random number out of my ass. There's only a dozen companies at most on the Utah DOPL list that are approved to give weapons instruction, A, the firearms continuing education hours, and B, because obviously we have to do a range practical, these companies are also the only companies in the entire freaking state of Utah that can take you out of range and credential you to continue carrying a firearm. But here's the asterisk with that. The company that I used to work for, I will not name drop them. Actually, you know what? I will name drop them. I used to work for All Pro Security in Utah for a couple of months. All Pro Security, at least when I was an employee of All Pro, did not have a weapons instructor. How do I know that? Well, the guy that I did my passcode instruction with, the guy who I went through my self-sponsored firearms course with, he is an FFL. He handles gun purchases. He sells ammo. He is a full-fledged, he's a full-fledged dealer. He has an FFL. He can even fucking manufacture machine guns. He's an SOT. And here's where I'm going with this. For those of you who know of the Flux Raider, the wonderful P320 chassis for, well, that SIG, you take the FCU, you take the trigger pack and slide out of P320, and you throw it on the Flux Raider. You have yourself either a braced 9mm pistol that turns a P320 into a very lethal, quote-unquote, long-range weapon system, so you can really reach out and touch somebody beyond handgun distances, because now you have those 3 points of contact that we all know and love. Or you can do what I did, and you can form one the Flux Raider. You could throw a stock on it, but then when you throw a stock on it, you have to register with the AFT. I had to do a Form 1, and I registered my Raider with the AFT during the amnesty period last year when we were going through that gun law craziness in 2023, when everybody was like, oh my god. I'm not gonna lie, and I'll own it on film, I did the amnesty. I filed my Flux Raider. I filed my Form 1 during that amnesty period, so my tax stamp, my $200 that you have to file with the AFT, my $200 was waived because I did it during amnesty. So that's where I was going with this. My passcode guy, my weapons instructor, is a full-fledged dealer, but at the same time, he can not only manufacture full auto fun stuff, he assists people in doing their Form 1s, making their own SBRs and SBSs and all that fun stuff, all those lovely all those lovely things the government doesn't like that I feel we should be able to do without no restriction, but I digress because I don't like to get too political during my videos. Yes, he assists people in Form 1s for self-manufacture and Form 4s for when you buy something with a stock already on it. Such as, say, you get one of those lovely SIG, I forget the designator for it. I think it's still considered an MCX. If you get the SIG Rattler, the Rattler is an SBR from the factory by default. A Rattler must be Form 4 because it is a factory OEM. It is an OEM SBR. You're not just throwing a stock on something a la ALA, to use English terminology. You're not creating it yourself. You're not throwing a stock on a Flux Raider and you're turning it into an SBR because you are taking the brace, you are taking the pistol brace off of your Flux Raider chassis and you are putting on a stock USL. That is the main differentiation between a Form 1 and a Form 4 with the ATF. Okay, this video is starting to do what I jokingly call the connect the dots theory. If you threw a string at this video, it'd be all over the damn place. So, yes, I asked my guy, what the fuck is going on with All Pro Security? At the time, they didn't have an instructor. And right now, because I'm name dropping companies in Utah, I'm trying to give companies the benefit of the doubt. I'm putting an asterisk here. Obviously, shit may have changed since I have resigned and left the company properly with the professional 2 weeks notice that I always try to give people. So I gave them notice and I left. That was September, right before I got my job with a company that will remain unnamed until the Utah Review, which is upcoming later this evening or tomorrow or possibly even Monday after I'm back in Las Vegas. Still don't know when that Utah Review is coming up because in a couple of hours I'm headed to my bar, and that's going to be another bullet point for you folks. There will be a departure from security the next couple of videos, the next couple of days. I'm highlighting my bar of choice in Salt Lake City / Sugar House area. I am doing a highlight on Craft by Proper. The bar I have frequented, the bar I'm a regular at, the bar I will miss very, 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 very much. Those are my people. That is my 3rd place. Please refer to a previous video within the description for the explanation on 3rd place. It is more or less your happy place between home and work. It is the place you go to socialize, to have fun, to meet people. My 3rd place is Craft. There will be a video highlight on Craft, upcoming video. So, All Pro Security did not have a weapons instructor at the time. I was going through all of my shenanigans, and I was thinking in the back of my head, you know what? When my Utah DOPL license is up for renewal, I'm probably heading back to Vegas anyways. So this move that's happening in a hurry of necessity, yes, it's happening in necessity in a hurry. I'm picking up and it's just getting the Ferrari and go, go, go. I'm in survival mode right now. I'm packing up and I'm jumping ship and headed back to Vegas. This is happening in a hurry, but at the same time, this was probably going to happen at the end of this year anyways. Now, had I not been yanked from my Global Security Operations Center position, had I not been yanked from my GSOC position, or had my own office and all that crap, had I not been yanked from my GSOC position, what I would have done is I simply would have gone through Defensify again. I would have done the unarmed continuing education hours, and I would have said, fuck my armed status in the state of Utah, I don't care about it. Because armed in Utah pays shit. It pays anywhere from 15 to 19 on the high end is what I see on Indeed, browsing Indeed. Being armed in the state of Utah is simply not worth it. You make far more unarmed. It is the exact opposite as the industry standard. You make far more unarmed than you do carrying a weapon. You make more without than you do with. Asterisk. Unless you are a federal government contractor with the U.S. Department of Transportation, the FAA, I got his name, or you work for Paragon here in Salt Lake City, working the Department of Homeland Security, Federal Protective Services, DHS, FDS contracts, or you're guarding IRS buildings and this and that. The FAA and the FPS, federal government contracts, make the bank here in Salt Lake. If you want to carry a weapon, you more or less need to get the government. You need to get on those different contracts to make anywhere close to a decent wage to maintain in the state of Utah, at least northern Utah, within the Salt Lake City area. This half of the state. I can't speak for St. George, I can't speak for southern Utah, but I will tell you, you need to make at least 23 bucks an hour in northern Utah to make ends meet. Because when I had my job with unnamed employer that I will name in my review, my GSOC employer, when I was walking the building as a regular patrolman, I was making $23.50, I think, either 23 flat or 23 and a half, 23.50. But when I got GSOC, when I got my office, I got promoted and bumped up $4 extra, so I was at 27 and a half, which is the most money I've ever seen in my entire private security career outside of working for the FAA in Las Vegas, where I made like 26, 27. But with an asterisk there, with the FAA in Las Vegas, I was part-time on call covering sick outs, last minute call outs, and all that crap. I never knew when I was going to be at LAS, the airport designator for Las Vegas International Airport. I never knew when I was going to be at McCarran International Airport. I never knew when I was going to be at the FAA. Because I was part-time on call, I covered sick outs, the call outs, and all that crap. So I never knew when I was going to be making that 26 or 27, whatever the hell it was, in Las Vegas. I didn't know when I was going to be at the tower for the FAA. So that is my brutal honesty. I wanted to make one last video before I headed out to my storage. That is my brutal honesty of private security in the state of Utah, folks. It simply ain't fucking worth it. If you want to work with a firearm, you need to get with the government. You need to get on those 2 contracts I mentioned. Otherwise, go unarmed, because being armed outside of the fence simply ain't worth it in the state of Utah. If you want to make a good wage, I would suggest you look real hard on Indeed, go unarmed, maintain your continuing education hours, etc., all that jazz that I just mentioned in very long, drawn-out, convoluted statements. You throw a cat word at this video, I swear to God, it's going to be everywhere, but I digress. Yeah, so that's my kind of look at the state of Utah as it stands within the private security industry. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate the way things are done here. Doppel doesn't know what the right hand versus the left hand's doing, and the fact that these companies are allowed to remain on the approved list when they don't have instructors and whatnot is asinine to me. Because you have all these employees who are carrying a firearm when, technically speaking, not even technically speaking, per state regulations, per security board regulations, if you miss your date, you're not supposed to carry a firearm until you're recertified. So you have all these people who don't have, you have all these people, again, I'll name my employer, you had all these people in All Pro Security who are probably falling behind in their continuing education requirements, who, per state regulations, should not be carrying a firearm. Guess what happens? Not a damn thing. They continue to carry a firearm because the state security boards never have enough people. It's the exact same situation in California, it's the exact same situation in Nevada, it's the exact same situation here in Utah, and probably in every other single state that has a security board. The favorite excuse within these state security boards are, oh, we don't have enough investigators. Great, so you're part of the fucking problem then. Why do state security boards exist when they don't even have the fucking numbers they need to properly enforce the state security regulations? If you don't have the numbers, and therefore you don't have the ability to slap companies when it should be done per your own regulations, if you can't hold people to the book, why the fuck do you exist in the first place? That's kind of a sub-rant going off track, but that's my frustration within private security within the U.S. in general, is why the fuck do these boards exist if they can't do what they purport to do and enforce security within that state? If you don't have the numbers, you can't do the job. If you can't do the job, why the fuck do you exist? /end rant. So yeah, that's my view, that's my take on this, on the state of things within the state of Utah for the private security industry. Stay unarmed. It ain't worth carrying a weapon unless you're with the feds. Other than that, I believe I'm talking in circles. I will end it here, folks. I'm making a trip to my storage unit. I have to head to Shields to buy an optic for the P320 I bought yesterday because I'm recertifying as soon as I'm back in Las Vegas Monday. I'm recertifying to become armed again because one of my old employers, my favorite employer up in Las Vegas actually, is taking me back, and I'm getting recertified in a hurry to work a armed event the 26th of January through Valentine's Day the 14th. So I more or less already have jobs lined up for me, waiting for me back in the city of Las Vegas. So other than that, as I mentioned throughout this video, you'll have a Craft by Proper highlight. There's karaoke tonight at Craft, which is why tonight's my goodbye at Craft by Proper, even though I'll probably go to the bar tomorrow. I'm doing karaoke tonight, so you guys will see me sing very well, and you guys will have that come into this channel. So you'll have a Utah review in the next couple of days. You'll have karaoke videos coming to the channel. You'll have a Craft by Proper. You'll have a bar highlight coming up on this channel. Those are the videos in my head that I have planned in the next couple of days. So we're departing from security a little bit, but I want to give folks, you know, here's been my life in Utah. Because I have had the greatest time of my life here, but albeit I'm not able to afford to be here financially anymore. I love the cold, I love this town, I love the people, I love everything about the city, but I simply cannot do it anymore. That's why I say private security ain't worth it. We get paid like shit here, and we're not able to, I feel like we're not even able to you know, make ends meet. Security officers here in Utah are probably working 2-3 jobs at most, just to be able to afford shit here. So yeah, anyways, my professional security journal, you guys stay safe, take it easy out there. Please take pride in what you do. Yeah, I'm doing my spiel, guys. I got it back, so we're chilling now. Take pride in your positions, take pride in what you do, stay safe on duty. Please stay situationally aware, please stay vigilant, heads on a swivel, stay frosty, all that cliche, cringy shit. But other than that, guys, departure from security next couple of days. You guys will have those videos coming out. Beyond those videos, I will see you guys back in Las Vegas. This is Mike here to Y'all take it easy. Signing off.